Wow! Welcome to ZOYU-INFORM. The age of the Earth is divided into various periods. The Precambrian, Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, Permian, Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous, Tertiary and Quaternary period. During the Precambrian period, life on the Earth evolved for the first time in oceans in the form of a single-celled organism known as bacteria. During the Cambrian period, that's 590 million years ago, shellfish, the first multicellular organisms, began to flourish. These were further followed by other fish-like vertebrates in the Ordovician period, 505 million years ago. The Silurian period, 438 million years ago, saw the beginning of the first land plants, before that gave rise to ferns and mosses in the Devonian period, 408 million years ago. The period is also known for the first belt of insects and amphibians on the Earth. The Carboniferous period, 360 million years ago, gave birth to the first reptiles. The first mammals and the first dinosaurs followed in the Triassic period, that's 248 million years ago. Dinosaurs became the most dominant land animals during the Jurassic period. This period also witnessed the evolution of the earliest known bird, Archaeopteryx. The first flowering plants on the Earth evolved during the Cretaceous period, 144 million years ago. The first land animals appeared in the Tertiary period. Human life evolved in the Quaternary period, that's about 2 million years ago. Don't be doubt, let's talk about the layers of the Earth. The Earth is made up of 4 layers, namely the crust, the mantle, the inner core, and the outer core. The crust is the outermost layer of the Earth. It is a thin outer shell of rock with a thickness of just about 13.0505 miles, that's about 21 kilometers. It is made up of the very light elements like silicon, aluminum, and oxygen. Mantle is a dense earth layer of semi-solid rocks lying just below the crust. It has a thickness of about 1001.97 miles, that's 2,900 kilometers. It's made up of metals like silicon, aluminum, iron, magnesium, and calcium in their molten states. The core lies at the center of the Earth and is divided into the inner and the outer core. Its main components are metal like iron and nickel. The liquid outer core is about 1404.29 miles, that is 260 kilometers thick, and the solid inner core is 779 miles, 1254 kilometers thick. The inner core is older than the outer core, but remains solid due to high pressure. The existence of the inner core was discovered by Inge Lehmann, a dynasty morologist, in 1936. The Earth has 4 spheres. We have the lithosphere, the hydrosphere, the biosphere, and the atmosphere. The lithosphere means ball of stone. It is the upper rigid layer of the Earth constituting the crust on top of the mantle. It is about 62.13 miles, that is 100 kilometers thick. In this layer, oxygen is found in abundance. Hydrosphere is a sphere composed of water found in, on, or above the Earth, regardless of its state. It includes oceans, seas, rivers, lakes, groundwaters, ice glaciers, snow, sleet, rain, and fog. Biosphere is the sphere where life exists. Therefore, it also includes portions of the other 3 spheres, that is the atmosphere, the lithosphere, and hydrosphere, that's air, land, and water. The sphere consists of living beings such as microorganisms, plants, animals, and human beings. These living beings requires energy to live and survive from gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water. Atmosphere is the sphere of mist gases surrounding our planet that's held in place by the gravitational field of the Earth. It saves us from the harmful rays of the sun. Nitrogen and oxygen are the most abundant gases in the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, water vapor, water vapor and droplets and dust particles are also part of the atmosphere. Now let's talk about the atmosphere, weather and climate. The Earth's atmosphere comprises of 5 layers: the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. Troposphere is the first layer above the Earth's surface, constituting half of the atmosphere. It is the densest layer of the atmosphere, extending up to 16 kilometers, that's 9.9 miles in many regions. All weather activities, such as the constant cycle of warming and cooling air, takes place in this layer. The next one, stratosphere, is the layer just above the troposphere, which extends to 50 kilometers above sea level. It's a dry, stable layer where the ozone layer is found. It also absorbs the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. Mesosphere starts just above the stratosphere and extends up to 85 kilometers high. It's a layer of metals or rock fragments. Yet the temperature falls drastically with the top, forming the coldest parts of the Earth's atmosphere. The next, thermosphere starts just above the mesosphere and extends up to 600 kilometers high. It's a very thin layer of air which absorbs most of the X-ray and ultraviolet rays of the sun. And the layer called the ionosphere lies between the thermosphere and the exosphere. It is named so because it contains large amount of ions. Exosphere is the highest layer of the atmosphere, which extends up to 10,000 kilometers above the Earth level. This layer merges with outer space. Many satellites orbit the Earth in this layer. Weather and climate is not the same thing. Weather is the specific condition of the atmosphere at a particular time and place, while climate is the average weather of an area over time. Weather tells how hot, cold, or wet a place is at a particular time. It is usually determined by measuring the temperature, wind, atmospheric pressure, and rainfall. The factors that determine the climate of an area include its distance from the equator and sea, height above sea level, and wind systems. Climates include precipitation, humidity, sunshine, wind velocity, weather events such as tornadoes, floods, and storms, and regular weather sequence all the 4 seasons, like summer, winter, spring, and fall, which is also called autumn. Every year, as the earth revolves around the sun, seasons change. Winter changes to spring, spring to summer, summer to autumn, autumn to winter. This cycle keeps on repeating. Seasons occur because of the Earth's tilt on its axis. And lastly, the Earth's surface can be divided into climatic zones. This can be broadly divided into 5, namely the tropical zone, temperate zone, arid and semi-arid zone, continental or cold temperate zone, and polar zone. Thank much more for watching ZOYU-INFORM. If you have any observation, we will see in your comments. Thank you.